And this is really what I want to get into. You know, we're talking about the Great Financial Reset. So if y'all aren't up, let's jump into this. The Great Reset. IMF calls for economic reset. So if you're at all in any way familiar, on June 10th, we did a show here on the Foundation on High Frequency Radio Network entitled, Globalization 4.0, or I can't, 2.0. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I can't remember the exact name of the show. But it's like Globalization 2.0, the Great Reset, or something like that. And that was referencing what the World Economic Forum was talking about. The World Economic Forum. Now we got the International Monetary Fund. So on October 15th, just like 6 days ago, the IMF published a speech written by the International Monetary Fund's Washington, D.C. Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva. It's called A New Bretton Woods Moment. Now, Bretton Woods is when the Bretton Woods Agreement, some consider it the creature from Jekyll Island. It's when, the major countries of the world got together and decided that the United States dollar would be the world reserve currency, and that banks and countries' currencies would not be backed by gold. Their currencies will be backed by the United States dollar, and the United States dollar will be backed by gold. And then in 1970, I don't know, one or whatever exactly, when Truman closed the gold window for good. And ever since then, the entire world economy has been running off a fiat monetary or fiat currency system. So we're talking about the 70s. Here we are in the 2020s, and that's 50 years. All right? So people could say, oh, the dollar has been in existence for, look, the fiat dollar hasn't really been popping since the 70s. Let's just be honest. And we can get into that, but I digress. Excuse me. So it's a new Bretton Woods moment is being called for. So there's a guy that I follow. He's a macro strategist when it comes to economics. His name is Raoul Paul. He said that this announcement alludes to a huge change come to the global financial system. I feel like this is the reset that I was been talking about for years. Quote, if you don't think the central bank digital currencies are coming, you are missing a big and important picture. This is going to be the biggest overhaul of the global financial system since Bretton Woods. This International Monetary Fund article alludes to a huge change coming, but lacks real clarity outside of allowing much more fiscal stimulus via monetary mechanisms. And tomorrow, the International Monetary Fund holds a conference on digital currencies and cross-border payment systems. So it's a very vague article. I'm just going to read the whole thing. It's not even that long. It's called A New Bretton Woods Moment by Kristalina Georgieva, International Monetary Fund Managing Director, Washington, D.C. You can check this out, imf.org. A New Bretton Woods Moment. I'm serious. I'm not making any of this up. This stuff is crazy, though. I first want to thank Dr. Ernest Kwamina Addison for his excellent remarks and contributions as chairman of the International Monetary Fund's Board of Governors. Reflecting on the dramatic change in the world over the last year, I paid a visit to Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, where 44 men signed our Articles of Agreement in 1944. Our founders faced two massive tasks. I'm sorry. By the way, and Bretton Woods is when they created the International Monetary Fund and I think another organization, I can't remember. Our founders faced two massive tasks: to deal with the immediate devastation caused by the war and to lay out the foundation for a more peaceful and prosperous post-war world. At the conclusion of the conference, John Maynard Keynes captured the significance of international cooperation as hope for the world. Quote, if we can continue, the brotherhood of man will have become more than a phrase, end quote, he said. Brotherhood of man. As we look forward to welcoming Andorra as our 190th member. The work of the International Monetary Fund is testament to the values of cooperation and solidarity on which a sisterhood and brotherhood of humanity is built. Today we face a new Bretton Woods moment, a pandemic that has already cost more than a million lives, an economic calamity that will make the world economy 4.4% smaller this year and strip an estimated $11 trillion of output by next year. An untold human desperation in the face of huge disruption and rising poverty for the first time in decades. Once again, we face two massive tasks: to fight the crisis today and build a better tomorrow. We know what action must be taken right now. A durable economic recovery is only possible if we beat the pandemic. Health measures must remain a priority. I urge you to support production and distribution of effective therapies and vaccines to ensure that all countries have access. I also urge you to continue support for workers and businesses until a durable exit from health crisis can be found. We have seen global fiscal actions of $12 trillion. Major central banks have expanded balance sheets by $7.5 trillion. These synchronized measures have prevented the destructive macro-financial feedback we saw in previous crises. But almost all countries are still hurting, especially emerging market and developing economies. And while the global banking system entered the crisis with high capital and liquidity buffers, there is a weak tail of banks in many emerging markets. We must take measures to prevent the buildup of financial risks over the medium term. We face what I have called a long ascent for the global economy, a climb that will be difficult, uneven, uncertain, and prone to setbacks. But it is a climb up, and we will have a chance to address some persistent problems: low productivity, slow growth, high inequalities, a looming climate crisis. We can do better than build back the pre-pandemic world. We can build forward to a world that is more resilient, sustainable, and inclusive. We must seize this new Bretton Woods moment. How? I see three imperatives. First, the right economic policies. Here we go. What was true at Bretton Woods remains true today. Prudent macroeconomic policies and strong institutions are critical for growth, jobs, and improved living standards. One size does not fit all. Policies must be tailored to individual country needs. Support remains essential for some time. Withdrawing it too early risks grave and unwarranted economic harm. So in this reference, I believe support is economic stimulus support. The stage of the crisis will determine the appropriate shade of the support, generally broader early on and more targeted as countries begin to recover. Strong medium-term frameworks for monetary, fiscal, and financial policies, as well as reforms to boost trade, competitiveness, and productivity can help create confidence for policy action now while building much-needed resilience for the future. That includes keeping a careful watch on risks presented by elevated public debt. Here we go. Elevated public debt. We expect 2021 debt levels to go up significantly to around 125% of gross domestic product in advanced economies. 65 in advanced economies, we've included the United States. 65% gross domestic product in emerging economies, and 50% gross domestic product in low-income countries. The fund is providing debt relief to its poorest members, and with the World Bank, we support extension by the G20 of debt service suspension initiative. Beyond this, where debt is unsustainable, it should be restructured without delay. We should move towards greater debt transparency and enhance creditor coordination. I'm encouraged by G20 discussions on a common framework for sovereign debt resolution, as well as on our call for improving the architecture for sovereign debt resolution, including private sector participation. What? We are there for our member countries, supporting their policies, and policies must be for people. My second imperative, to reap the full benefits of sound economic policy, we must invest more in people. That means protecting the vulnerable. It also means boosting human and physical capital to underpin growth and resilience. Boosting human and physical capital, human resources, human labor. COVID-19 has underscored the importance of strong health systems. Rising inequality and rapid technological change demand strong education and training systems to increase opportunity and reduce disparities. Accelerating gender inequality can be a global game changer. For the most part, unequal countries closing the gender gap could increase GDP by an average of 35%. And investing in our young people is investing in our future. They need access to health and education, and also access to the internet, because that gives them access to the digital economy. So critical for growth and development in the future. Expanding internet access in sub-Saharan Africa by 10% of the population could increase real per capita GDP growth by as much as 4 percentage points. Digitalization also helps with financial inclusion as a powerful tool to help overcome poverty. And this is what they're doing. They're trying to expand internet access all over the world, and then put devices in your hand that hold those crypto, these Fed coins, man. Just as the pandemic has shown that we can no longer ignore health precautions, we can no longer afford to ignore climate change. My third imperative, we focus on climate change because it is macro critical, posing profound threats to growth and prosperity. It is also people critical and planet critical. In the last decade, direct damage from climate-related disasters adds up to around $1.3 trillion. If we don't like this health crisis, we will not like the climate crisis one iota. I mean, look, you're quantifying a health crisis in economic terms, but I guess you're the International Monetary Fund. Our research shows that with the right mix of green investment and higher carbon prices, about to do this carbon tax. Pay attention. We can steer towards zero emissions by 2050 and help create millions of new jobs. We have a historic opportunity to build a greener world, also a more prosperous and job-rich one. With low interest rates, the right investments today can yield a quadruple dividend tomorrow, avert future losses, spur economic gains, save lives, and deliver social and environmental benefits for everyone. The IMF's role, and then we're out of here. Look, we'll get to talking. At the fund, we are working tirelessly to support a durable recovery and a resilient future as countries adapt to structural transformations brought on by climate change, digital acceleration, and the rise of the knowledge economy. You hear what I'm saying? The rise of the knowledge economy. Since the pandemic began, we have committed over $100 billion, and we still have substantial resources from our $1 trillion in lending capacity. We will continue to pay special attention to the urgent needs of emerging markets and low-income countries, especially small and fragile states, helping them to pay doctors and nurses and protect the most vulnerable people and parts of their economies. So basically, they're going to be giving loans to, up-and-coming countries and low-income countries, just in the same way that, credit card companies try to give credit cards to college students. You're about to be getting that bread, let's get that. And hopefully you're not very well versed in economics. Our unprecedented action was only possible thanks to our members' generous support. The doubling of the new arrangements to borrow and a new round of bilateral borrowing arrangements preserves the financial firepower. Members have also stepped up with essential contributions to our catastrophe containment and relief and poverty reduction and growth trusts. This has allowed us to support our low-income members with debt relief and to triple our concessional lending. We are engaging with members to further boost our concessional lending capacity adapt our lending toolkit, and increase support for capacity development. IMF staff working day and night have been magnificent in this crisis. My sincere thanks to them and my management team. My deep appreciation also to our executive directors. They have been there every step of the way over the past 6 months. Conclusion, seize the moment. The best memorial we can build to those who have lost their lives in this crisis, in the words of Keynes, that bigger thing, building a more sustainable and equitable world. Our founders did it. It is now our turn. This is our moment. Notice how there's a lot of psychological language used in this, and we want to, bring in this new Bretton Woods moment from the International Monetary Fund due to the crisis and, to health and healthcare and, climate change. I suggest you keep critical thinking. These fools knew that climate change was coming. They didn't do anything. They even changed it. They changed it from global warming to climate change. The Bretton Woods system was a huge change in the world's economic system. The agreement in 1944 established centralized monetary management rules between Australia, Japan, the United States, Canada, and a number of Western European countries. Basically, the world's economy was in shambles after World War II, so 730 delegates from 44 allied nations gathered in New Hampshire in a hotel called Bretton Woods. The group was led by the British representative John Maynard Keynes and the U.S. Treasury Department official Harry Dexter White. Many historians believe the closed-door Bretton Woods meeting centralized the entire world's financial system. On the meeting's final day, Bretton Woods delegates codified a code of rules for the world's financial system and invoked the World Bank Group. They created the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund. Essentially, because the United States controlled more than two-thirds of the world's gold, the system would rely on gold and the U.S. dollar. However, Richard Nixon shocked the world when he removed the gold part out of the Bretton Woods Pact in August 1971. It was Nixon, not Truman, my bad. As soon as the Bretton Woods system was up and running, a number of people criticized the plan and said the Bretton Woods meeting and subsequent creations bolstered world inflation. When the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group started, a leading editorialist in the New York Times abruptly had to leave their position for writing about the Bretton Woods system's horrible and negative effects on the global economy. A number of people believe that the International Monetary Fund is alluding to a new Bretton Woods means the powers that be will introduce a great reset if they have not already done so during the pandemic. Quote, it's the change of the economic system of today to one which 1% of the elite will control 100%. An individual will only be part of the larger. The International Monetary Fund is calling for help, leads me to believe that the current fiat system is going to be crashing down very soon. This may or may not be, and more likely could be, the Great Reset. Two major problems in the world's financial system exist right now. Let me just pop in here. Let me jump in this. Number one, the demise of the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. Because of the stimulus, there's more and more dollars in the system, which reduces the value of each said dollar. And the ridiculous amount of trillions of dollars of debt that the United States government is into, there is a lot and has been a lot of talk for years regarding the United States dollar being the world's reserve currency. And then number two, the almost uncontrollable growth in debts in central banks' balance sheets. So it's not just the Federal Reserve. It's all central banks within the international banking The UN, the United Nations, has been calling for the development of a new world reserve system since like 1991. I personally have seen this coming for a long time. We also have the implementation of the Fed coin. This is coming whether you like it or not. This is happening whether you're prepared or not. And there's nothing that you can do to stop this. I think one of the biggest things when it comes to this new Bretton Woods has to do with the arrival of the only real rival to the World Bank, which was created at the same time that the International Monetary Fund was created, is the Asian Investment and Infrastructure Bank, or it might be the Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank. This is, in my opinion, a large rival to the World Bank. So, something needs to be done. And I think, that bank in China, creating that bank, forced their hand. There's a lot of stuff coming because of a lot of debts going to become due, corporate debt, sovereign debt, the switch from the LIBOR to SOFR. We got the International Monetary Fund calling for an economic reset, a new Bretton Woods. We got the worldwide bank balance sheets are off the charts. We have so much stuff going on, and now there's a report of Russia and Iran hacking elections and stuff in the United States. So what does this mean? What does this mean? So let's get into what this means, because y'all know that I don't be talking and speaking on this stuff just to get people spooked. That's not my steez. What's going on is I want to point this out to you so that you can understand what to do. And what am I saying to do? What I'm saying to do is, as I'm always been saying to do, is it's time to set up your private estate. Now. Period. How is this going to affect you personally? If you have an individual account and you have money going into that individual account, especially if it's one of the Fed coin accounts, is going to be subject to all types of policies with regards to the Internal Revenue Service, the Federal Reserve, your state statutes. Who knows? And this is the problem. You're also potentially dealing with very, very confiscatory policies and laws with regards to confiscation. The individual, as this gets deeper and deeper, this whole economic reset, is the death of the United States as the world reserve currency status, whatever it is, countries tend to cannibalize themselves. So in other words, they begin to tax crazily their own citizens. Governments. So this is just beginning. And I know for a fact that those who are dealing with an individual accounts, individual savings accounts, individual retirement accounts, these individual, man, look, this stuff is not the place. It's not going to be the place to be when this is all done. When this is all finished. It's not to be on the public individual side, is what I'm telling you. That's not the place to be. They're locking it down to where once we transition into this new system, that most people, or maybe even everyone that can still in the system, will no longer have a way to get out. And I mean, maybe some people can't fathom that. but I can. And I think, this move, this is a coordinated worldwide move when it comes to this monetary system reset. What's really going on, in my opinion, is, this Asian infrastructure and investment bank, this rival to the World Bank, really spooked them. And, to many, it's obvious that the world economic center of power and gravity is moving eastward. It's moving to the east. It's leaving Western hands and Western power. United States. It's leaving, England, the UK. It's leaving Western powers and moving to the east, moving to China, moving to Iran, moving to Russia. Moving to these Eastern countries. You just look at the numbers, look at the charts, look at the numbers. You can see what's going on. You can absolutely see it. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing you can do about it. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You can't stop it. What you can do is protect your position and protect your family's position. You can get in a position of protection. I'm telling you, once these digital wallets drop, it's a wrap. And what I think they're going to do, and I could be wrong, I think the next stimulus is going to go through these digital wallets, these Fed coin wallets. That's the only way they're going to get everybody to bite. Is if they push all the stimulus through the Fed wallets. They say, oh, they got our election stuff. The Iranians, the Russians, they hacked us. They got all our election stuff. The Feds is telling you, it's not safe. We're not sending checks anymore. We're not doing direct deposits because the hacks. It's not safe. We're gonna put it in your digital Fed coin wallet. That's where you're gonna get your stimulus checks. And you know what? We decided we're gonna pilot a program where you get a stimulus check every 2 weeks, but it only goes into your Fed coin wallet. Watch the move. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. I hope I am. But we got the World Economic Forum. We got the United Nations. And now we got the International Monetary Fund calling for a monetary reset. A worldwide monetary reset. It's happening right now. I saw breaking news. The FBI just released that Iran and Russia is hacking the election. You don't think they're going to say, oh, they hacked our banks? The only banks that are secure is the Fed bank with the Fed coin and the Fed wallet? And a lot of people, I got emails. From the last show, people talking about the Fed wallet. I got emails. People like, well, if we got to trust, what's the implications of the Fed coin with the trust? I'm like, you just get the Fed wallet in the name of the trust, not the individual. The trust is governed by the trust indenture, the private contract. The individual is governed by state and federal statutes. So regardless, there's still going to be, overall some sort of rule of law. But you got to be in the correct position. You got to be in the correct position. You got to put your family in the correct position to take advantage. A lot of y'all don't understand what we're going through right now, what we're living through, and it's an amazing moment in time. They're going to write books about this period, from the pandemic to how they reset the monetary system on a worldwide scale, how we were hitting wildfires, everything was going crazy, and this is the pinnacle moment in history, in the history of humanity or whatever. There's a lot of things going on right now. Very, very historic time. But don't get lost in the sauce and caught up. Because ultimately, this has always been what it's about. When I came to High Frequency Radio Network, my main mission, and it's always been the same, teach you how to do business in a different name. Whether it's an LLC, a business trust, a family trust, an asset trust, a private family foundation, that's been my entire mission with Sot, the foundation, period. Because I knew, I've been all over the world. I met a lot of great people, a lot of smart people. I also met people that I respected and trusted, and they taught me how to see things. And then when I saw what was coming, my mentor looked at me and pretty much was like, okay, so what you gonna do? And I made it my mission, like part of my life's mission, to educate y'all with regards to private estates and private structures, so you can have some sort of leverage, some sort of cover, some sort of leeway or something, some sort of real specific standing, some sort of real standing against what's coming, because it's coming fast, and it's coming in hot. Every day I sit down and look at the news, I see it. I saw, and my man taught me how to read the news. He said they be talking to each other. Countries talk back and forth to each other. They had a little thumbnail. European stocks closed lower on failed talks of U.S. stimulus, and then they got a picture of Nancy Pelosi smiling all from ear to ear, talking about European stocks going lower. Come on, man. There's taunting going on at high levels. There's craziness going on at high levels. And, the overall point is to take care of yourself so that you can take care of your family. And, this stuff ain't going anywhere. Uncontrollable growth in debts and in central banks' balance sheets. For all these issues, central banks have only been buying time since the start of the credit crisis in 2007. But given how sensitive this issue is, nothing can be said in public. Any official comments about a new Plan B will crash financial markets, which is Plan A, immediately. Central planners know the only way to plan a reset is to do it in total secrecy. Total secrecy. Go to sleep, wake up, boom. Wake up one Monday morning. Nope, we're not opening new trust accounts. Sorry. This is the new system. We aren't opening new trust accounts at the time. Sorry. Off you go then. Off you go. They shut down everything. They shut down the Secretary of State. You trying to get an authentication or something, man? They shut down. And look, these fools want to do a reset, talking about all the problems that happened with the pandemic, but they ordered the shutdown. Now, a lot of people be like, well, they ordered the shutdown because, health reasons. Cool. Well, why don't they say that? Why don't they say, hey, we having all these problems because we ordered the shutdown? No, we having all these problems economic because of the pandemic and blah, 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 blah. Nah, man, you shut everything down. I can't think of any time in history where the world economic activity, all of it, all across the world, was pretty much came to a standstill, other than 2020. It's an amazing time. A lot of people are freaking out. A lot of people are losing it. A lot of people lost it. Lost their wife, lost their husband, lost their family, lost their savings, lost their job, man, look. This is the times right now. Is that an excuse to lose your mind? No. Is that an excuse to go crazy on people? No. Is that an excuse to slack in your plan? Slack with regards to your responsibilities. I can't tell y'all enough. I got people call me all the time. Yo, man, I love the show. I love the show. Good. What'd you do? Huh? What'd you do? What do you mean? When you love the show, right? Yeah. What'd you love about the show? Well, you was talking about, trust now. Okay, so what'd you do? Huh? What'd you do? Oh, I'm working. I'm trying to. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm a try. The word try is one of the weakest words that you can use as a grown adult. You either do it or you don't. You don't tell a grown ass man, I'm going to try. I'm trying to. I just be like, all right, yeah, cool, man, cool. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for everything. I do have time just for I don't know how much longer to educate with regards to the real. I had my daughter look up in the law dictionary the word teacher and the word educator, and the difference between being taught and being educated. And she looked at me with a confused face. They scrunch their eyebrow, they furrow their brow. You know how children are when they're confused and stuff. She was like, huh? I was like, how? So having read that, baby, how do you get a proper education when you're being taught? She was like, you don't, Dad. Exactly. I have enough time to educate y'all with regards to the fact that this thing is about to go pop like the weasel, fam. There's going to be people yelling and screaming and lamenting. It's like, yo, get off the beach, get off the beach. No, man, look, you can see stuff you could never see before. The tide went all the way out. Yeah, man, get off the beach, man. When the tide goes out that far, that means there's probably a tsunami coming. You don't know nothing, man. Come on, man, get off the beach. Don't tell me what to do, man. Man, we are family. Get off the beach. I love you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. No, man, don't tell me nothing, man. I got time. I'll try to get off the beach later. You ever heard of survivor's guilt? You ever heard of the term survivor's guilt? You should look into it. You should look it up. You should look it up. You should definitely look it up. 100%. Because survivor's guilt is real. I'm trying to tell y'all, fam. I'm trying to tell y'all, fam. I'm trying to drill it into your head. Trust. Drilling into your head. They're about to flip the system. Drilling into your head what real assets are. Drilling into your head fiat currency is worthless. Drilling into your head F a job. Drilling into your head set up a family business for multi-generational wealth. Drilling into your head F benefits. Drilling into your head set up a proper life insurance policies with health riders, proper health riders, and the proper terminal illness riders in the policy. And then run and get the cheapest health insurance you can find and have the estate expense it. Fool. They about to pop this thing off like how we was children. We used to pop off the the little dandelion heads. You know what I'm saying? They about to. I'm telling you, like Sister Yvette be telling you. Look, all I can say is admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Trustee training is in effect, straight up. If you're an email list subscriber, which you should be, for email list subscribers only, we got some things popping off for you and only you. So if you have not already, go to www.welcometothefoundation.com and sign up for the email list. There's emails that get sent out only to email list subscribers. There's things I don't even say on the show, but they're sent to the email subscribers. Those of you who are subscribed to the email list, you might open your phone, open up your computer, see your email. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't heard a show. You ain't nothing. Oh, look what he said. Oh. But this stuff isn't a joke, This is, and these shows are being archived. They're on podcasts. Look, you can't say I didn't say anything. You'll never be able to say that Sot didn't tell you. But this reset is popping. It's going down. What are the implications? I am not completely sure. I will be honest. I'm not sure. I know that they are very, very immense implications. That these implications, if not prepped and ready for, will harm me and they will harm you. Because the old system is going away. The new system is coming in. You got to pay attention. You have to pay attention. Otherwise, you're going to lose your footing. And that's not what's up. So I don't know. So I take some calls. I'm pretty much wrapped up. I'm a little tired and stuff. I got into prepping for the show and was like, wow. All new Bretton Woods moment, fam. Most people, some of y'all be like, man, what is this dude talking about? Man, y'all need to look into it. The COVID-19 crisis is inflicting the most pain on those who are already most vulnerable. This calamity could lead to a significant rise in income equality, and it could jeopardize development gains from educational attainment to poverty reduction. New estimates suggest that up to 100 million people worldwide could be pushed into extreme poverty, erasing all gains made in poverty reduction in the past 3 years. That is why policymakers must do everything in their power to promote a more inclusive recovery, one that benefits all segments of society. Our new research, prepared jointly with the World Bank for the G20. What you mean? So you act like it prepared jointly with the World Bank. The Bretton Woods Agreement created the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund at the same time. That's like two brothers working together or two sisters working together and be like, oh, yeah, I prepared this in conjunction with my sister. It's all good. More equitable access to opportunities is associated with stronger and more sustainable growth and to higher income gains for the poor. But unlocking the full potential of all individuals is not an easy task. A policy response like no other. The good news is that governments around the world have deployed extraordinary policy measures to save lives and protect. Man, I just lost my spot, man. I got it. And protect the poor, with many countries stepping up food aid and targeted cash transfers globally. Fiscal actions so far amount to about $10 trillion. But given the severity of the crisis, significant further efforts are essential. This includes taking the measures needed to avoid a scarring of the economy, including from job losses and higher inequality. It is clear that increasing access to opportunities is more crucial and critical now than ever before. And if we are to avoid persistent increases in inequality, we must act. Now. Substantial fiscal stimulus will have to be deployed, harness the power of financial technology, International Monetary Fund. Yeah. I mean, you might be tapped by your ancestors or something. You might be good. You might not need to do anything. You might not need to set up your estate. You might just need to chill. You know what I'm saying? Go to McDonald's, grab number 6, and the sweet and sour sauce. And I'm just playing. I don't know what the number 6 is. And just wait, because everything's going to be all good for you. For me, though, I can't trust in that. I have a family that depend on me. I have women that love me. I need to take care of my dance. You know what I'm saying? So they're about to reset the economy, man, the world economy. I don't know what else to say, man. We got about 90 seconds left in the broadcast. If you are not a live caller, you would want to be, I guess, unless you want to get cut off. The calling number is 563-999-3625. Once again, 563 999-3625. As always, you don't call in and get cut off. You got to check out the archives. You got to trust Blog Talk to, process the show properly, get everything. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. So what y'all think? Is this one of them whoosh things? Is this one of them whoosh dances? Like, what? What does this dude talk about? I got to listen to the show over and over again to understand what he was talking about. I hope not. I hope you understood what I'm saying. I've been kicking this stuff towards y'all for a while now. I've been kicking it to y'all to where, at the very least, you can go in certain circles and know what you're talking about, know what you're hearing, and be able to at least carry a conversation. That's the whole point. Ultimately, beyond, you doing all your dance together. But it is one of those things when it comes to, when it comes to this reset, this I know, and it's like, man, you can't. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to appreciate. It is hard. It is almost impossible to visualize something that you've never seen before. It's almost impossible. To predict or empathize with an experience that you've never had. But please, I don't care how long you've been alive. I don't care what you've seen. I don't care what sector you work in. I don't care who your mom and who your dad is. This stuff is about to happen. This stuff is happening. And the implications with regards to what's about to happen are far-reaching and very, very significant. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to put you on the game. I'm not into the fear stuff. I'm into to do the dance stuff. And I pancake toes for years, putting y'all in the game that others be trying to charge money for. Well, I think it should be distributed freely, and that's why I do it. My agenda is to get your estate established. That's my agenda. Get your bank accounts open for your business trust, for your family trust. Get your education right so you understand and know how to not only properly administer your private estate, but also how to substantiate the private position and contract protections if ever challenged. Because anything that you own can be taxed or litigated to you. It can be taxed to you or litigated away from you. So for multi-generational wealth as well as current tax benefits, potentially. I'm not giving legal advice. I ain't promising nothing. But ultimately, I've never met anyone or, met anyone that didn't have any, exceptional positive results with the restructuring of their private estate and the proper administration thereof. But this reset's coming, so you're either going to have all your stuff, all your assets titled in your name, quote, all capital, individual name, individual accounts and stuff, or you're going to have diversified and set up your private estate and put yourself and your family in a winning position. There's accounts that exist that you have never heard of that you can only set up with a trust, a foundation, or a public charity. You don't know what you don't know. And my job is to inform you of some of the things that you don't know so that you do know, so that you can never say that so didn't tell you. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna body here. There's nothing against the callers. It's nothing against any of the listeners or anything. It's just lately I've been just looking to inform y'all, put y'all in the game, and then just be out. Y'all want to holler at me, you can email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. You can set up a consultation. You can get in trustee training. But other than that, it's really, it's crunch time as far as I'm concerned, especially with this. This was just this month. This is October. And luckily, this is something that I didn't miss. I caught this. I'm like a week late 6 days late. It just dropped last week, and I'm bringing it to you. So I highly suggest that you research and you look into what I was talking about. You go to the International Monetary Fund website. You check out a couple articles and different opinions with regards to, what the implications of what's going on is, from the International Monetary Fund to the United Nations to the World Bank, the World Economic Forum. They're all saying the same thing and flashing the same indicators. It's just for those who are aware and understand what it means and understand what's happening, are able to make changes and make, diversifications and different moves to preserve their position and sometimes, perpetuate and grow their position. So, I trust that you were able to gain, wisdom, some knowledge, some information, some clarity, whatever it is from this show. The Great Reset, International Monetary Fund is called for an economic reset. It's here. It's popping. It's coming. It came way faster than I thought it would. But then again, once the pandemic hit, I was like, wow. I knew there was going to be a Black Swan event with regards to the markets and stuff. But, as with Black Swan events, no one ever really knows what that event's going to be. So as is such. But, who knows? I trust you'll be straight. And, if you haven't already, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list at welcometothefoundation.com. Jump in some trustee training. Quit playing with yourself and your generations. Admin@welcometothefoundation.com. And, pay attention. Pay attention to the world around you. Pay attention to what's going on. And pay attention, to those things that may need your attention. Not everything's about what you think it's about. Not everything's about what you want it to be about. And just the things that you like have an effect on your life, as well as the things that you dislike also have an effect on your life. So, and you may dislike certain things, certain responsibilities, having to do certain works, having to invest certain time or spend certain time on things that your social circle aren't even aware of, such as trust estates. Be like, what? Fool, pass me that beer. I ain't trying to hear what you're talking about, man. I'm over here trying to play pool. Over here talking about trust estates. Man, oh, lawyer face. You get very few daps, high fives, and good jobs when you're investing in your private education. You got very few people who are even interested in doing it. So therefore, it's not, trust administration and, hey, I just set up my business trust account yesterday. It's not really water cooler talk at the job, man. There's no real social benefits, public social benefits to setting up your private estate unless your social circle is a bunch of private individuals. More than likely, those types of people would be like, man, it's about time, you're late, or something like that, versus congratulations, good job. So you receive, and I understand this, but I want you to understand this. You receive, probably in your life, zero social incentive to invest in your private education, to do anything more than you already do. Does that mean that you shouldn't do it because you can't talk about it and get high fives for it and good jobs and cookies and medals because it's too hard, because you have to study, because you have to read? I'm not very good in that reading. Well, I am. How'd you get good at reading? I kept reading. I read a lot. I read everything. I read the back of the toilet. I mean, when I sit on the toilet, I was reading the back of shampoo bottles and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I read everything. That's how I got good at reading. You didn't get good at reading because you felt like you weren't very good at reading, so you didn't read. You avoided reading. The things that you don't like can affect you just as the things that you do like can affect you. But it is what it is, and, you know, everyone has their own thing. And, you know, hey, to each their own, you know. I'm not going to have to answer for what you did or didn't do. All I have to do is answer for what I did or did not do. But I did and have so far been putting on the show pretty much every single Wednesday, trying to teach y'all how to do this dance and how important it is and making it relatively accessible, as accessible as I can. I got people calling me on the daily that are in trustee training. Trustees got my personal mobile phone number, not no Google Voice, no fake number. No, it's my for real mobile number, man. Like straight up, the real number. As accessible as I possibly can. But, you know, this International Monetary Fund, this World Economic Forum, this United Nations, World Bank, Federal Reserve, none of this stuff is going anywhere. And it's if it's good for them, it's bad for you. And what's good for us is bad for the banks. It's bad for the powers that be, bad for, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm sorry, no callers tonight. I see y'all. I see you. I love you. No callers tonight. Send me a hate email. I'll send you some love back. But I appreciate y'all. I trust that y'all were able to glean some sort of information from this show. You know, this is an important topic. I hope, you know, a bunch of people listening to it in the archives. This is big, and it requires, you know, personal investigation so that you understand what's going on, and you can describe it in your own words. But I'm ringing the alarm. The International Monetary Fund is calling for an economic reset. Set up in a different system. Bretton Woods event? Come on, man. You ain't got to tell me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Passport No Social, Part 1, Part 2, Foundation Trust Series, Foundation Trust Primer. We got the new Foundation Trust Series, Part 3 popping. Trustee training. Start your own business. Set it up the right way. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight. And I'll catch you here next week on the hottest radio network on the planet, High Frequency Radio Network. Enjoy yourself. Love yourself. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.